saves in that 4-3 overtime win in the season opener on December 1st. And we're underway. Minnesota in their familiar purple uniforms. New York in the white and teal. And played right away into the Minnesota end. Flipped out in front of the Minnesota cage. The Frost are able to work it back to center. And now here comes McQuigg with some speed and some room. Great centering pass to Sceptres, but it was a little too hot to handle for Liz.
I've really loved the way Brooke McQuigg has played in her opportunities here with the Frost this season. Such a smart player, and she's been rewarded a few times because of it.
Minnesota trying to increase its hold on first place in the league, coming off that win over Boston in overtime Thursday night. Third time scoring 4 or more goals, and I would suspect if you're Lucy Morgan, you want to see a lot of offense from the team in front of you today.
100%, and this is going to be huge for the players in front of Lucy Morgan to play smart hockey, especially in their own end. It's hard enough to come in for your first start and manage the nerves of that in normal circumstances, let alone when you find out 5 minutes before puck drop, you're going to be in between the pipes.
And there's going to be goal number 1, and it is New York getting on the board first.
Well, this one was deflected on the way in, and you can see Lucy Morgan, the frustration. Looks like it'll be Eldridge credited with this one, her second goal of the season. And let's take another look at how this play developed off the wall here. And then in the circle just fires one. Looked like it went off a Minnesota skate. Natalie Bookbinder out front maybe, yeah. That deflects off friendly fire there. So Bookbinder off her skate into the back of the net, and what an unfortunate way to start for Lucy Morgan, who any given day can be that particular hero, but especially when you're down so many key players, you need somebody to take the charge.
Steckline being shadowed there by Carpenter. Carpenter is such a good defender for as good of an offensive player as she is. She doesn't shirk her responsibilities on the other end of the ice. Sceptres tried to feed it ahead for Minnesota and get it out of the zone. They can't. They're bottled up right now. Thrown in behind Morgan. Poke check to the near corner. Fillier pounces. Sarah Fillier looking to center. Swatted away there by Morgan from her crease. And this is going to hop out to the blue line. And back to the New York blue. 13.5 to go, opening period. 1-0 New York on a goal by Eldridge just 1 minute and 10 seconds in. From the left point, that's a missed opportunity there for a shot. Fandon. Shelton, who's maybe a little bit rusty. Now room for Coyne Schofield. 3-on-1 for Minnesota. Oh, what a save by Schroeder. Tic-tac-toe passing, and Corrine Schroeder comes up aces.
They were in so tight, I didn't know if they'd even get that shot off, but what a good look by Minnesota, their best of the night.
Minnesota leading in shots 7-3. Here's Simpson now. Eldridge with her. Tries to feed it to Eldridge, and it was broken up as she fed it across. Back the other way is Brooke Bryant. She'll dump it in for the Frost, and they'll make a line change. Jamie Bourbonnais again. Clocked almost 40 minutes of ice time the last time they faced Minnesota. Tulis scoops it ahead here for Brooke Hobson. Hobson takes it to the middle. Backhand shot off the side of the net. Chloe Arard tried to feed the front. Loose puck off to the right of Morgan. He's peering over her shoulder. They wing it around to the far wing side. And now it's picked off here by Caitlin O'Donohoe. Who made her PWHL debut on Thursday. And in her second professional game.
Almost had a goal in that first game. O'Donohoe did.
Of course, playing against her former college coach, Greg Fargo. He's in his first year with New York after a great run at Colgate. This is Saulnier. Saulnier flips it. Downey Landry couldn't advance it. She was stood up. And now having to regroup is Jill Saulnier. Back out at center. New York flips it in. 11:35 to go. First period, 1-0 New York Sirens. Pretty free-flowing game here early on. And we saw a lot of penalties called in the Minnesota game on Thursday night.
Yeah,
so far here.
Not a whole lot of whistles yet in this one.
This is Mae Batherson. She'll send it down. Taken away here by Allison Simpson. The rookie from Colgate. Solid defender. Rink-wide pass. Here's Alex Carpenter. She'll pull up at the half wall. Sends it across. Intercepted there by Claire Buderak.
And see how quickly Carpenter draws attention. Two Frost players go immediately to her on the wall. Usually one isn't enough to pry that puck off the stick of Alex Carpenter.
Carpenter a 6-game point streak to start the year. One away from a single-season PWHL record. 2-on-1 for New York. Shot by Carpenter. And what a save by Morgan. Talk about a feather in her cap. She just stoned one of the best players in the world. Now Maggie Flaherty will bring it back for Minnesota.
Well, that'll boost the confidence a little bit, like you said, especially against a player like that. She'll be thinking about that one for the rest of the day.
And this one's chopped up out of play.
Throw the lines out there, but also Minnesota can't afford to play an overly physical game today. You don't want to risk more injury or more, suspension like Curl got the other day.
There's a rebound. Eldridge tried to slam it on, but it's cleared out by Minnesota. This is a power play brought to us by Royale Tiger Towel Paper Towel. Power through the fight. And you see the power play numbers for New York, penalty kill numbers for the Frost. Quinn Schofield in the box. First power play of the game for either side. There's Eldridge again from the corner and was looking for Carpenter. He was a little bit behind on that pass. Minnesota will get some time here.
You also want to be disciplined today because you've got a new netminder in between the pipes, and as they say on the penalty kill, your goaltender has to be your best penalty killer. You don't want to give her more difficult work than she's already going to have to do today. Try to make this an easy first career start for Lucy Morgan by staying out of the box.
Eldridge again coming in. Flips it off for Abby Rock. Neal in person. Plenty of room. Very patient. Gets it off for Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais. Off for Downey Landry. Now to the far corner. This is Rock and Downey Landry playing catch. Shallow angle shot. Intercepted by Cava off the ricochet. And thrown out to center. 25 seconds to go in the first power play of the game. Garrett drive. And Morgan handles that with ease. Ortulis keeps it in the zone for the Sirens. Top of the circle. Drop down to the end line. Pass out in front. By the side of the net. Now this is Bourbonnais. 5 seconds to go in the power play for New York. Downey Landry. That shot didn't get through. And Minnesota's back at full strength. Another save there for Morgan as the penalty expires. And a big round of applause from this Minnesota crowd.
And deservedly so. That was a really efficient penalty kill by the Minnesota Frost. They were bottled up in their own end for most of it, but they did a good job of tying up shooters on the sequence and breaking up plays. Quinn
Schofield. Chip on her shoulder after taking that penalty. 2 shots officially on goal for New York on that power play. Steckline tracks it in behind the net. Back to the New York line. Minute 15 to go in the period. 1-0 New York. Shelton cycles it back. Bryant trying to intercept for Minnesota. Coming out of the zone now is Peyton Levis. She'll dump it in for New York. A minute to go.
1 minute remaining in the period. 1 minute.
Last 2 games between these two decided by 1 goal. That's the difference in the hockey game here late in the first period. Defending Walter Cup champs down a goal to New York. Minnesota in first place coming into the day, 1 point ahead of Montreal. Here comes New York with an early attack. Save, rebound. Morgan is able to keep it out. Morgan making her...
Take any unnecessary chances if you're Lucy Morgan right now.
Face off, played to the corner, handled by Minnesota. If you're Ken Klee in a situation like that, how much coaching do you do minutes before she takes the ice?
I think it's one of those situations where you just kind of let her do your thing, and especially for goaltenders, they are more creatures of habit than anybody else out there on the ice usually, and there's not much you can say. The nerves are going to be there. You're going to be a little excited, a little bit anxious. And if I'm Coach Ken Klee, I'm just saying, hey, go out there and give us your best shot. And she's done that here so far today. And for New York, I mean, the benefit for Minnesota is New York game plan for Nicole Hensley. They were ready. They were watching tape on her, ready to go up against her. So you never want to have to throw a goaltender in at the last minute. But the silver lining is that your opponent's really not ready for it either.
Hensley started that December 22nd shootout win at New York. Had several big saves in that overtime that sent it to the shootout. Now it's tipped wide by Allison Simpson. New York keeps it alive in the zone. Shelton, the offensive defender, long shot. Caroms off the back glass. Now out in front again in the crease. Pouncing is Morgan. And we'll get another whistle with under 16.
Got the stick right in the skates. Saulnier hits the deck, and the official was standing right in the corner there, saw it pretty easily.
New York 0 for 1 on the power play. A couple of shots on goal during the first advantage. They'll go to work again. 6 minutes gone by. Another Tiger towel, paper towel power play. Power through the fight. Villiers. There's a little pirouette on that right wing. Carpenter here on the near wing side. Carpenter plays it down for Rock. Rock being patient. Down low, Carpenter, centering pass. Eldridge swings it toward the net, off the side of the cage.
It was a great stick check by Bryant on the back door there to disrupt it just enough to give Morgan enough time to get to that post.
Micah Zandyhart now. Eldridge, Carpenter. Alex Carpenter, good pass, shot, score! Sarah Villiers finds the back of the net on the power play, and it's 2-0 Sirens.
I don't know how that puck found its way in from the angle that she was at, and that just goes to show how sharp of a player Sarah Villiers is. Take another look at it as the feed down low, and Villiers bottom of the circle. It's such a hard angle to score from, and Morgan even gets over there, and she just sneaks it in right below the glove and above the pad. And a player as good as Villiers, if you leave the door. Yeah, Shishova looking for her first goal of the season still, and almost had it on the breakaway opportunity there. Minnesota sure could have used one, but Schroeder shuts the door.
That's what Ken Klee was talking about. When we get our chances, and we will get some, got to take advantage. As that hops the stick of Steckline, she has to regroup in neutral.
The pros are too good. It's too tough of a league. You don't see opportunities like that often. Maybe 1 or 2 a game if you're lucky. And Minnesota can't capitalize on the breakaway chance there.
Micah Zandyhart. The pass picked off there by Chavez. New York was trying to break out of the zone. Minnesota setting up for an attack now. Off the stick of Heisey. He tries to regroup in the corner. Gets it off for Kendall Coyne-Schofield. Schofield fighting through a check. Heisey swings it through the middle. All the way over for Kava. One-timer Lee Steckline a blast. Knocked down by Micah Zandyhart out in front.
Good sustained pressure by the Frost.
Steckline again, and again it hits a New York body. Schroeder got a piece of it, but not all of it. Swung in behind. New York can't clear. Good pressure here by the Frost. And now finally El Harchi will send it back to center ice. New York can come up for air at least momentarily. Now Panic trying to hand it off for him or over. Good play across for Shishova again. 2 Czech stars on the line together here with Panic. Flaherty over. Channel Watkins a shot, got through, bouncing puck in front of Schroeder, and she's in.
That whether it's a two-handed chop, single-handed chop, it's going to get called if the official sees it. And Claire Thompson will sit.
18:27 time of the penalty. 3rd power play for the Sirens. They're 1 for 2 with 4 shots. Villiers the power play goal on the last attempt. There's a drive broken up in the circle. That was O'Donohoe finding herself on the penalty kill in just her 2nd professional game.
1 minute remaining.
Well, that's what happens when you need to juggle your lineup and find players who can step up. You get opportunities you may not have expected to get.
50 seconds to go in the period. Here's Carpenter. That's broken up. Boy, Kava laying out to block that. Comes back to Carpenter's stick. She goes to the slot and scores. Trickles past Morgan, who made the initial save, but wasn't able to control it. And Carpenter gets another one. It's 3-0 New York.
Well, Morgan slowed it down, but it snuck behind her, and Alex Carpenter, a menace to this Minnesota Frost team. The shot from the top of the circle there, and makes it 3-0. And Clay, I was waiting for a break in the action to say this was a must-kill penalty for Minnesota, and I couldn't even get there before the New York Sirens make the Minnesota Frost pay, and the double whammy, the final minute of play in the second period. Those are back-breaking type goals, and this third goal by the New York Sirens, Clay, I'm always a it's never over till it's over type gal, but this one might have put this game to bed with how much Minnesota has struggled to generate offense in this game. And I know everyone at home is probably sick of us talking about how shorthanded they are, but that is a big factor in how this game is unfolded. And now you wonder, do you have the personnel, do you have the ability to come back in this one? Down 3-0, but New York came back from a 3-0 deficit against Minnesota in the last matchup, so a chance for Minnesota to maybe pay some revenge if they can do the same.
That's a record-setting point for Carpenter. 7-game point streak now to start the year. So that's a single-season record for consecutive games with a point. Carpenter now her 5th goal on the year, comes at the 19-20 mark, and it's going to be a 3-0 lead for the Sirens going to the third period. Not feeling great. She's dealing with an upper body injury, and several other stars out of the loop here today for Minnesota. Can they come back down 3? Here's Villiers dropping it back. It's New York trying to go back to work. Penalty box is empty to start the third. El Harchi played off a check there. Liz Sheppers.
This is also the first time all season Minnesota has trailed by 3 goals in a game. We've talked about their scoring prowess and how they've found the back of the net quite a bit, but they've also limited the times that they've had to battle from behind, and when they have, it's never been by this much, Clay.
No contrast from the 2 meetings prior. Both went to overtime.
And in both those games, as I mentioned earlier, it was New York battling from behind to come back in it, down 2-0 in the first game and 3-0 in the second game.
Ella Shelton plays it across. Allison Simpson, who was originally given an assist on that Carpenter goal, was changed to Micah Zandihart. The assist to Rock and Zandihart. The Carpenter tally that made it 3-0. A couple of power play goals for New York today. That's got to tickle Greg Fargo's heart, because they were struggling on that. You know, when we talked to him before the game, he said our power play has been too much on the perimeter. What did he mean by that, Alexis?
Well, you got to get pucks to the middle. You've got the extra skater out on the ice. That means there's a little bit more space to work with than usual. There's no reason to be hemmed up on the perimeter.
Oh, there's another one. Off the rebound, Chloe Arard jams it in, and it's 4-0 New York.
Well, that's her first goal of the season, her first point in the last 3 games. And a good battle in the circle here, spinning and setting that one towards the net is Minnesota native Gabby Rosenthal. And just hoping somebody in a white jersey is out there to get a piece of that one, and it just so happens to be Chloe Arard, who is there to tap it home. Thompson not able to take that puck off the stick of Rosenthal. And I'm excited to see kind of how they develop with their new teams over time. And Minnesota, as you saw noted on that graphic, and Boston were part of the first ever trade in PWHL history last season, where Minnesota acquired Sophie Jakes. And now an even bigger trade here happening not too long ago. So it'll be fun to see how these players fit in with their new teams, and looking forward to it.
And after that trade, Ottawa beat Toronto at Coca-Cola Coliseum on New Year's Eve. But I think both teams are going to be real happy with the way that works out. 4 stars for sure.
Yeah, I think sometimes you see only one winner in a trade, but in this one you see 2. which is ultimately what you hope for in a trade, right? That each team benefits getting what they need, and I think you could definitely say that about this trade.
Under a minute to go. Minnesota hoping they can pop one in the net here and avoid the shutout. Eldridge lugs it back to the Minnesota blue line. 40 seconds to play. Good pass, shot, score, 5-0 New York. It was turned over, and a great pass across to Abby Rock. And the veteran buries it. The former Wisconsin Badger makes it 5-0.
And the New York Sirens fans in the crowd loving that. Her second goal of the season, and left all alone in the circle there. Even had time to think about it before she shot it and rips one home past Lucy Morgan. Morgan kind of deep in her net. She was playing that near side where everybody was kind of bottled up. I mean, pretty much everyone on the ice is to Lucy Morgan's left except for Abby Rock, who receives that pass.
Assisted by number 9.
And this has been a rout by the New York Sirens, the Minnesota Frost. It felt like they almost never stood a chance in this one after that early goal. The New York Sirens just never looked back.
Great assist by Eldridge. It's a 3-point game for Jessie. She got the first goal of the hockey game, a couple of assists to boot, and New York is going to win this one. 5-0 the final. The Sirens, an impressive win over the Minnesota Frost.